Alright, hello everyone. So today we'll be talking about the guidelines for a good goal ship. I will also be showcasing a run that I've done and explaining my logic to you for all of my decisions, alright? So if you already watch any of the other big CCs like Seriru, which is the Uma Musume Wits guy, or Victoria Frontier, they basically already talked about these guidelines for ace horses, right? Always get enough stamina, because if you don't have enough stamina, your top speed is going down. And if your top speed goes down, you are going to have a higher chance of losing that run, right? I've already talked about this in my how to win. You need stamina, right? Especially if you consider that people will be maybe bringing a good enough nice nature, they can hit you with all seeing eyes, and then you have to lose stamina, right? So always make sure you have enough stamina. It's better to overstam than to understam, because at least you overstam, you have a bit of a shield against nice nature. But if you have less stamina, you are going to lose a lot of speed, a lot of it, and that will cost you the game for sure. Right? You also have maximum speed. You want to max your speed as much as possible. So enough stamina plus maximum speed, but if you don't have enough stamina, sacrifice the speed. Go as high speed as possible, but make sure you have enough stamina, right? Max the speed. 1200 speed will win someone with 1100 speed most of the time, depending on RNG conditions and stuff, right? So that is why you always want to maximize your chances, so that's why you always maximize your speed. You also want a little bit of wits, just a little bit, because some decks right now, I believe you're not able to actually get any wits at all, so you just need about 300 plus wits. That's the bare minimum, I would say. Because if you have low wits, right, you actually will not be able to proc any of your skills and you just die. Right. Of course, whale decks will be able to afford a lot more options for the wits, and so you can actually just go and do that if you want to. But yeah, basically just go for a little bit of wits for most of your decks. If you're a very high roll deck and you have a lot of good SRs and good MLBs, then just go for whatever stat you want. Alright, just go for whatever stat you want. Then after that, you also have medium S. Medium S increases your maximum speed. That's why it's such a good thing, right? It's a significant amount, and having medium S can actually define whether you win against someone without medium S, right? It's just such a big boost to your speed, and it's going to actually win you a lot of games because of it, right? You also need accelerations and good speed skills. Good speed skills like your end closer corners, or your corner professor of curvature, I mean. And you also have Excel. Excel is something like basically in this CM particularly, it's Taiki Shuttle, Majiro Ryan, and Marozensky, all of which really proc around a corner. And if they proc around a corner, you basically just win off of that. Very powerful acceleration skills, right? Very powerful. Okay, so that's the stuff for the guidelines over here. Nothing really new if you watch any other CCs. Moving on to this Goldship parentage over here. We have here a double circle affinity and -1 acceleration skill. Normally, I would try to go for Marozensky plus Taiki Shuttle and then Majiro Ryan, but I was actually able to find a double circle compatibility with this Symboli Rudolph, and because of that, Symboli, I know her speed unique actually works on this track, and I know Majiro Ryan, her unique is an acceleration skill. I just use these two here to get that double circle, because that double circle increases the odds of me getting more golden inspirations. If I can get more golden inspirations, I'll be able to get additional white sparks. I'll be able to possibly hit my medium a little bit higher. Of course, I haven't actually triggered any gold inspirations yet, but that's just RNG. Technically, this is a higher chance than not having the double circle, technically. Right, so I'm just going to use this horses over here. I'm going to use the acceleration from Majiro Ryan. I'm going to use the speed unique from Symboli Rudolph, and then I'm trying to hit very important things here. I underlined most of them. I'm trying to hit the medium S. I'm trying to hit the Spring Runner, trying to hit Corner Adept, Ura Finals, Tokyo Race Tracks, left-handed. I have all of them somewhere inside the deck. I also have Ramp Up and Home Stretch Haste, right? Trying to snipe a lot of good skills here, right? That's why I chose to go for this and just hit a bunch of good gold inspirations to get a lot of stats. Right, so that's pretty much my game plan here. It hasn't worked yet. Take note, it hasn't worked yet, and that is just RNG. But you just have the preparation done, and then you just keep running and pray that one day your preparation comes into fruition. And if nothing happens, that's just life, right? That's just life. Okay, moving on to the Goldship deck itself. This deck is definitely going to be a lot weaker than a lot of you, because I have to borrow Kita-san Black. I only have a 2 limit break Kita-san Black, and I do not want to use a 2 limit break Kita-san Black, so I always borrow my Kita-san. In exchange, I have to use a Super Creek 0 limit break, which really sucks. And because of that, I'm actually considering swapping this Super Creek out for a 1 limit break Same Sky. And you might ask me, why the hell are you doing that? Don't you need double go recovery? Not for an end closer. For end closers, you can usually dodge most of the debuffs from Nice Nature. And because of that, having only one Seiyun Sky stat stick and only my innate go recovery on Goldship to cover me, I think that is going to be generally a bit better and allows me a little bit of free space, because I'll be able to actually go and race instead, and I'll be able to go and do other clicks instead. Like I can click more widths in exchange, right? I can click more speed in exchange. So it's just a trade-off here. So I think that Same Sky might be a little bit better, because Goldship already has innate 20% stamina bonus, right? She does not have any speed bonus, which is why we have to stack the deck in the speed side, and we can go a little bit less in the stamina side. So I think that this might be a more worthy change here. Just get higher raw stamina stat to compensate for not having the Swinging Maestro, and just use the innate Goldship Go Recovery, because it works very well on this track. Right. Then for the speed cards, you might be asking me, I thought you talked about how strong the SR cards are. Why are you not using like Mayano Top Gun, King Halo, all these cards? Well, that's because I don't have them. I only have them at 3 limit break, and they are cards that specifically only get skill point bonus or power bonus at 4 limit break. Yep, I'm one off. And because I'm one off, I have no choice but to use stronger speed cards, because Goldship has no speed bonus at all, meaning I have to click the speed a lot to maximize her speed. And so because of that, I must use the strongest speed cards I have. This is from experience and from testing a bunch of runs. I must click speed rainbows as much as possible in these runs, right? So that is pretty much it for the Goldship deck over here. You definitely will have better cards than me. If you have worse cards than me, then you might even need to go for 5 speed and 1 stamina, and then pray for a good stamina run. Remember, it also changes based on your inheritances, right? Depending on the horse, you will change. Depending on the inheritance, you also change. If you are going to inherit a lot of speed, then you maybe can cut out a few speed cards for more stamina cards, and so on and so forth. Just adapt your inheritance, adapt your deck. Don't be rigid. Right, sometimes the horse just needs different things to try and hit the stat lines that you're aiming for, and then do a few test runs. If the test runs don't work, then so be it. You just do another strat and another strat until you are able to find your favorite strat. In my case here, I'm still testing a little bit, but this is generally the golden rule for a Goldship training. Right, if your horse has 20% speed bonus, then cut out some speed cards and you'll be able to do it, or go for 4 speed anyway, because it's actually very hard for some weaker cards to try and hit the maximum speed. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I'll be showcasing the run now at 2.5 times speed. If you need to pause anywhere, just pause anywhere. And if you have any other questions, just go to my AMAs on the weekends and ask me there, because that's generally where I answer all my questions. The comment section is also a pretty okay place. I will eventually type reply for some of your questions if there's a few that I can answer right now. But in general, I will use it for video ideas as well. So feel free to comment down anything in the future. You might see a video to answer your question. Alright, so let us begin. First off, remember to launch every run in normal mode, because Goldship mode actually makes the runs a little bit harder, because the enemy horses, I believe, get something like a 10% stat bonus or something like that. So in general, it's a bit harder, so try not to do that. And after that, basically, I'm going to be using what I already showcased beforehand. We will be doing the exact same things as we do for a debuffer run actually, but in a debuffer run, I will be clicking hints a lot. In an ace run, we never ever care about the hints. Right, the hints are merely a means to get additional bonds. If you are trying to snipe hints for your horse's skills, then you can do it, but make sure it is at least a decent one. Right, make sure it has at least a bunch of bonds that you can click, because in this mode we are aiming for stats and stats and stats. We are not aiming for a lot of skills. Right, of course, if you have a better deck, you can do it, but for me, I can't. Alright, it's just impossible for me. Right. Over many runs, I realized that I cannot aim for any hints unless they are on the way. Like maybe there's a lot of good bonds, then there's a hint. Okay, nice, I click that. If it's a race opportunity, I sometimes can't even click the race opportunity because I need the widths. Right, my stat lines are really hard to hit the ones that I'm happy with on a Goldship in particular. Right, it's already very hard to hit 1100 speed with this kind of stat lines. It's really very hard. Right, so everything that I click here is going to be a priority for speed and stamina and widths. These are the 3 most important stats. I tried going for power a little bit, and I realized that I actually cannot max out my speed if I keep going for power. Really just impossible. So I must click stamina, I must click speed, I must click widths as much as possible. Your bonds ideally should also land in speed or stam or widths. If they land there, then you can level up the training facility and you can get even more stats. So that's something that's very nice to consider. But of course, sometimes they end up all in the guts position. I don't know why, don't ask me. Sometimes all 4 of them decide, hey, I want to be a guts cut today, Moo Cows. Well, sorry then. Guess you're going to be a guts cut. Right, nothing I can do about that. Right, over here we're just going to be keep clicking, basically just prioritizing some speed rainbows here and there, prioritizing bonds also. Sometimes you have to choose in between also. Sometimes you have to choose between clicking that speed rainbow or clicking a bunch of bonds. And most of the time it's going to be the bonds, but sometimes there's a situation where it's like a rainbow plus a bond and then versus another bond. I click the speed rainbow because from experience, if I don't click that speed rainbow, I will actually have not enough speed by the end of the entire run. And you might be looking at this run now like, Moo, you're clicking so many speed rainbows. Doesn't that mean that you're okay? No, because ultimately I would not get enough speed rainbows later on in the run. I even take a 32% failure rate here because I know I need so much speed rainbows, right? So it's just experience. Right? After you run a few times, you already know that, okay, unless I click speed a bunch of times, I will not max speed on Goldship. Goldship is insanely hard to max that speed. Insanely hard. And I have to click every single one of these and I still don't have enough later because no speed rainbows appeared. Right? Really no speed rainbows appeared. Just absolutely shit RNG. Okay. Then over there, I have to rest. Basically, I'm resting very early on. I'm not even going to RNG the well-rested. Don't even bother RNGing the well-rested. Basically, I'm always preparing for a big rainbow turn, a big boot turn. Always try your best to do it. And then over there, I got slow metabolism into a speed rainbow. Oh my god. Worst feeling in the world. Absolutely worst feeling in the world. Right? When you see shit like that, right? Honestly, you can even like quit that run right there and then. Because sacrificing one turn is just going to suck. And from my experience, right, I never ever get rewarded in the later parts to ever compensate for a huge loss like that. I'm exaggerating, of course. Depending on your deck, you will recover. But my deck, if I miss one turn, right, it's so punishing. It's unbelievably punishing. And then I got migraine. Nice. Like, beautiful. Right? Over here, I probably want to click wits there, but I chose to race instead because I wanted more skill points. I think the right decision ultimately for me is to click the wits button there. Right? This is just from testing. Right? Some decks you will just choose the race there, but some decks you just click the wits there. Because if you don't click wits, you're never going to get the 300 wits that you're aiming for. Right? Takarazuka Kinnen for Goldship in particular, right, is actually a pretty good race to try and target. If there's no amazing rainbows there, try to go for Takarazuka because there's a special event that lets you get a skill that lets you start later. And that's actually good for Goldship because Goldship wants to start later. Over here I get a 44% triple rainbow. I should have clicked that. I'm not even gonna lie. I should have gambled that one. Because after this, right, I never ever hit 1200 speed. And that was one of the rainbows that probably could have bumped me up a little bit to 1100 speed. Really regret not clicking that one, right? So basically, when you go for a run, you have to choose. Do I want to make a stable horse or do I want to gamble like no one has ever gambled before and get an insanely powerful horse? There, I should have gambled. I really should have. But my hope there was that even though I rest there and stabilize the run from there, I'm able to get some good rainbows later on, which ultimately I never ever hit. Right? Always gamble because this is just a gambling game. Right? Very good to gamble here. Okay. So anyway, over here, I'm prioritizing some stamina clicks here because my stamina is technically a little bit lowish, right? It is the late of the second year. I still need about 850 stamina. So if I sacrifice all of my stam clicks to click speeds, I'm not guaranteed to get stam rainbows later on in the career, right? So that is why I'm clicking some of the stamina rainbows that I have right now because I don't have foresight. I can't see whether I will get a lot of rainbows for this one or this one in the future. So I need to make sure my stamina and my speed is growing at a relatively similar-ish level, right? I don't want to really all sacrifice the stamina and pray for stamina rainbows in the end game, right? But I also don't want to specifically sacrifice all of my speed rainbows and get so much stamina that is too much for this character, right? You just have to choose a balance, right? This is just what you have to do when you're training this horse here, right? Just need a lot of speed, but you also need a little bit of stamina, and you just have to decide when is it enough. When is it enough? Right? Inspiration number 2. Do I hit the medium S? Answer is no, I do not hit the medium S. And just like that, I already know the run is over. But I still push a little bit because maybe I get a really high roll run and then I get to showcase that, hey guys, maybe there's always hope, right? Just go and push the run. No, there is no hope. The run is complete shit. There is no speed rainbows. I'm dead. Literally in the summer, I basically get jack shit in the summer, like really jack shit. I'm hoping for at least like double rainbow, or some shit like that. No, nothing. Literally nothing. Instead, I get double rainbow stamina during the summer, and I get stamina double rainbow here again. Like, and then next turn, immediately after that is a freaking speed rainbow turn. Like, beautiful. Right, Takarazuka Kinen number 2. You want to win both of them. If you win both of them, you get a special event. It's called After the Takarazuka Kinen, keyword number 2. And if you do that, you actually are able to get a special event to give you a gate capped. And gate cap is good because you start late. And when you start late, you're an end closer, so you love to start late. So it's like perfect, right? You get to start later and then you just stay in the back forever. Like, it's basically free, why not? You also get a bit of skill points, I believe, for clicking that button there. So yeah, I think it's quite okay. Here I get stamina rainbow, I just lock that in, and then I get speed rainbows, but I have not enough stamina, so I just rest. Like, and then next one, I'm praying for some speed rainbow maybe, and then nope, it's just nothing. Yeah, it's over. Right, it's just over. Only like a few turns left, and no speed rainbows are appearing. Like, the game is literally over. It's over. Right. Over here, the game rubs it in my face, giving me a 4th place in the Nakayama turf, even though I have 800 speed and 800 stamina, whatever. Just rub it in my face. No medium S anyway, right? At this point, the run is basically done already. Okay, right. So yeah, sometimes you can just quit the run earlier if you basically know that it's over, and you can save yourself some time. But if you want to get more skill points, you want to get a chance for a good parent, then just finish the run, right? So some people, depending on your mental state, right, maybe you're not able to actually like complete the run, because otherwise you feel like, oh, I hate this game, then just quit the game. Just quit, okay? Just like end that run and then take a break, and then after that come back when you take a break, because mentality affects your clicks, no joke. You need to keep a strong mental, keep eyes on the prize the entire time. Don't get your mood affected by the race results itself, the clicks result itself, the medium S result itself, right? I've lost it many times on stream. I've lost it many times, but it's very important to keep a strong mental here when you are going through these runs, because you have to go through a lot of these runs, and if you burn out halfway, you're going to suffer a lot. So here I click a bunch more speed over here. It's not going to hit anywhere close to 1100, unfortunately, so it's basically a ultra dead horse here. Ultra dead horse, right? Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the Goldship run here. Nothing much else. The skills that I buy here is just because I want to try and snipe some additional white sparks. Maybe I can get a decent parent out of it. But ultimately, the parent didn't become very good. For Gate Cap, by the way, don't buy it. Just like leave it there. It will actually be inside your skills as long as you don't buy it, which is a good thing. Alright, that is pretty much it, guys. Remember, do not burn out, and it is just a game. There will be more Champions Meets to come. Remember that Musume is a very luck-based game and also a knowledge-based game. Even if you know everything, if the other guy is luckier than you, you're still going to lose. If you know and the other guy doesn't know, you're more likely to win, but also doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to win, right? Nothing is ever guaranteed. Even a whale can get blocked. Even a whale can miss the proc of his recovery skill and die. Even a whale can get hit by nice nature debuffs and miss his recovery proc and die, right? And there's so many things that can actually go wrong or go right in a run that can actually make your crazy horse just pull out that victory for you. All right, remember to protect your mentality also. Don't grind too much and just burn out. Don't burn out at all when you're just clicking and getting tilted from failing runs, from getting night hour 3 times. I know I've raged on the stream before, but remember to protect yourself. All right, it's not worth it to rage so hard for a game like this. Okay, remember to just go do your best. Do as much as you can, and after that, if you still lose, then so be it. But if you manage to win, awesome, that's all you know, right? So that's pretty much it. That's how I basically go through all of my Uma grinding every single day, and I'm just trying to get that good Goldship. And also take note that you only need to make one decent ace for getting through the first 2 stages of the bracket. You only need a super powerful horse for the finals, because in the finals, one race decides it all, whether you get the golden chest or whether you get the silver chest or whether you get the bronze chest. Alright, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say. Good luck with your pulls, good luck with your trainings, and good luck with everything else. Alright, if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me in the AMA that I host on the weekends or randomly every now and then. I'll be trying to set up a Ko-fi so you can pay me like $1 or something, so you can request some information from me directly, and you can also just comment down below and maybe I'll answer in a future video. Right, so that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you guys next time. Bye bye.